Well, we're waiting.
Da 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 da. Oh, Hadouken! Command and Conquer. Mega Man X. Star Trek. Star Wars. Get out!
Get out! Get out of there!
The following content contains adult language and humor that is not suitable for viewers under the age of 18. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. You hear that, Phil? The views and opinions expressed during the following video content are those of the individual and may not reflect those of others. Thank you.
No coupons for you, Phil.
Baron Orman Tagge, Cashmoney007, PACIFIC414 are here to bring you all the pop culture and entertainment news, rumor, opinion, discussion, watch parties, reviews, reactions on PACIFIC414 Pop Talk. Welcome, one and all.
Except you, Phil.
Good evening and welcome, one and all, to this edition of PACIFIC414 Pop Talk on Rumble, on Kick, on YouTube, along with Cashmoney007 and Baron Orman Tagge.
Yo.
I am your host, Mike, and tonight we have quite a few articles to discuss, and we're going to have a lot of fun discussing those articles. But of course, Cash, Baron, how are you guys doing?
Well, I'm glad Cash has his microphone off right now after what he told us before we went to the show. But I am doing fantastic. It's a lovely day here. Even though the El Diablo Gato knocked my Millennium Falcon off of a shelf in my closet here.
Okay, why is El Diablo Gato still holding residence at your house?
Well, because it's my daughter's cat. Trust me.
Okay, and what's that supposed to mean?
I mean, yeah, I don't want to pull
a cat does that to my Millennium Falcon. That cat's being put up for adoption.
I thought about it. Trust me, but it's like, I mean, as a parent, it's really, I don't want to have to hear about it. Sometimes when you do something like that, the aftermath that comes is just not worth it. I just, okay, we'll salvage the Falcon, and at least it wasn't Ray. It was El Diablo Gato, who's sitting on top of one of my boxes in the office here, licking himself. And it's like, I know why he wants to get on the top of a shelf where my Yoda is. He can't get up there. And so help me, if he does anything to that Yoda, he will be gone.
Dad, where is he? Where's the cat? Oh, I found a new home for him, sweetheart.
Yeah. Well, he jumped into when she was away. She went with her boyfriend's family, and of course she goes, "Okay, take care of the cat." Oh, I'll take care of the cat. But while she was gone, we had a box in the kitchen, empty box, because we got something from one of the numerous packages from Amazon. And he jumps in the box. I go, "Oh, how perfect! All you need to do is, well, if I'm kind enough, I'll poke some holes in there." And off to Abu Dhabi he goes. Bye.
Amazon, you say?
Amazon, yeah. Oh no!
Look what I just got from Amazon.
Yeah. Mine should be. If it's not, I'm surprised. Maybe it's out there. Maybe the package came. I don't know. Maybe when the long suffering comes home, she'll go, "Yeah, you got a package." It's like, yeah, I know. You like my package. Oh, you're talking about that. Okay.
Man, what did I come back to? Cats being missing, something about Baron's package.
Yeah, the Babylon 5 there. Take a look at that. The road home.
It's really cool.
Yeah, and I love that review. I mean, it's not a review I'd fully read because there's spoilers in it, but to a certain point, I love how the review came down about this. That makes me even more excited.
Well, let's make that our first article.
Crit was saying that the movie is getting some mixed reviews. There's just, and it's like, and he was saying, well, a lot of the cast has passed away, unfortunately. I said, yes, that is true, but.
Well, J. Mike was, in fact, it's in that article. I mean, I don't want to get too much in it if we're going to actually talk about the article. But Straczynski did a lot of stuff before actually doing this to make sure things were cool and good with everybody, and of course doing it respectfully with the new different voices, different voice actors to play it. And so, but I've heard a lot of good things. I mean, yeah, there's going to be the naysayers out there, obviously. When you have someone who doesn't like Babylon 5, they don't like Babylon 5. There's no, it's almost like you do or
there's no way you can convince them that it's a good show, regardless of how they look at it. Oh, this show is horrible.
Right.
Well, yeah, I don't like the way this person acts in the show. I don't like this character. I don't like the story.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, exactly.
I can imagine Paul's going to have a lot of things to say about it after I don't know how much of Babylon 5 he's watched, maybe a season or two.
I don't know. I have
a feeling.
But the thing is you're going to have to watch the whole series before you watch this movie, because it all ties in. So,
yeah.
I see Phil is up to his shenanigans again, of course.
Who's Phil? I don't know. This is a Phil Free
Zone.
Zone.
Yeah, that's right. Oh, yeah, good point. Who is Phil?
Yeah, see, the sign's up. The sign's up. Phil Free Zone. So he shouldn't be here. Because, people, when they see things are not allowed in a certain place, they always follow it, don't they?
Well, speaking of those who are here, of course, Baron, you're here.
Oh, wow. See, now from now on, this will be a Phil. See, right there. There's my sign.
Yep, right there. Brandon Looney Tunes fans stopped by. Of course, it's supposed to be a Phil Free Zone, but somehow he got in there.
What the hell?
Yeah.
Blazerhawk Darren, I thought that was your department to keep Phil out of the chat. Your security. Okay, I'm just letting you know that now. Your security.
You're fired.
The Padawannabe. Hello to the Padawannabe.
Mm-hmm.
Hello.
And of course, we have Jace from 540 Studios.
Norwegian. I'm not Norwegian. I'm more German. I hate Norway. Sorry.
And we also have Low Spec Linux Laptop. Excuse me. So our first article of the evening comes from Inverse, and it says the most resilient sci-fi show just set up a massive reboot. Babylon 5 is very much back, but not the way you might think. This is by Ryan Britt. It was posted yesterday on Inverse and says, what was the most pivotal moment in the timeline of Babylon 5? In the show's fourth season credits, voiceover Susan Ivanova says that 2261 was the year everything changed. But was that true? What about the Shadow War of 2260? Or what about New Year's Eve 2258? Or maybe that time the crew of the White Star had to move B5's predecessor, Babylon 4, back in time at 1,000 years. In the brand new Babylon 5 animated feature, so I will go ahead and put up the spoiler banner.
Okay.
I have not watched it yet, but I'm still going to read it.
I think this part here, before we get to the comic, that image down there, is still kind of spoiler free, but after that, it is full of spoilers. So I don't know if we want to continue on or what, but I'll leave it up to you, boss.
I think we're just going to read the first few parts, and then we're going to stop talking about the article after that. Just because I haven't watched it yet and other people haven't watched it. Right. But like I said, I'm not really bothered by spoilers, but I don't want to spoil it too much.
Exactly. I think right. I think this part will be just enough right there, because it gives you kind of a gist to what the story's about. After that animated thing, it really starts getting into I did read the article all the way through. I shouldn't have, but I did. I wanted to make sure. I wanted to filter it before the show. I did it all for you people. Appreciate me.
I appreciate you. In the brand new Babylon 5 animated feature, The Road Home, the beloved and scrappy sci-fi franchise ditches any fatalist or deterministic plotting and suggests that perhaps the most essential Babylon 5 truth was all the parallel timelines we met along the way. In fact, the ending of The Road Home gives the original TV series a kind of alternate ending, which interestingly seems to set up a hypothetical reboot of the entire show. Spoilers ahead, which I will not continue on because again, I just got it today, and even though I don't mind spoilers, I don't want to spoil it for anyone who hasn't seen it yet.
Right. I think the one thing, it's in the other part down there, which we're not going to read, but it is still worth. I'll just sit back and say this part. When they're sitting back talking about the show, I'll say this part here. While the road home quickly devolved into Easter egg, could have devolved into Easter egg heavy 90s fan service series, creator J. Michael Zazinski keeps the story grounded. So I'm going to stop right there because this is the important thing, especially what we've been complaining about all along with like Picard season 3 and others, and Star Wars and such. All they can do is member berry.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not that type of a show. Is actually something writing behind it. If there's something in there, it is not a member berry. It is truly the Chekhov's law. If you see a gun, it's going to be used later.
Mm-hmm.
So that is what excites me the most because, yeah, I mean, if it was somebody else, I'm sure this could have turned into. I haven't seen it. I haven't got my copy yet. It might be out there, like I said before. But I just know J. Michael Zazinski and how he writes. He's a protege of Harlan Ellison.
Yeah.
And in that sense, it's like, yeah, every word has a meaning. Use it wisely. Keep a thesaurus next to you. That way you can use alternate versions of these words and make yourself sound smarter. But in all seriousness, that's a refreshing thing to hear. And
yeah, it is.
And people out there say about how we bitch so much. Well, we're praising now, and we haven't seen it yet. But it's just going off the fact that when you know what you've been given by other people, it kind of dulls your senses. What's her name? She was doing her bitching about Ahsoka, and she was bitching about everybody out there because they're so negative, and you're not giving Ahsoka a chance. Well, because Disney frilled everybody over.
Who?
Mm-hmm.
Rosario Dawson?
No. This is one of the YouTubers. When it has the blonde with the raspy voice. And,
Grace Randolph?
I don't if that's her. I don't know, but she really, she's really gone off her rocker.
You said blondes, so I'm thinking you're talking about Grace Randolph.
Probably.
Well, is she actually in the show, or is she just reviewing
No, she's one of us. She's a YouTuber.
Okay, because if it's Grace Randolph, she'd be sounding like something like this. Well, everybody's not giving the show a chance.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you should.
Yeah,
okay, I know. That's probably the worst Grace Randolph you'll hear, but you get the point.
That's okay.
At least it wasn't Gorlock, the Destroyer.
No. You know, if it's going to be anything... Barrett, you know this. Yes. Everybody should know this by now. Me Grimlock.
Mm-hmm. You good Grimlock.
Grimlock returned. Me Dinobot leader.
Returned.
Mm-hmm. Grimlock. Grimlock powerful.
I will say I am looking forward to watching The Road Home.
Yes.
I'm shocked.
I'm excited for it, man. Come on.
It's cool, man. I do.
Right.
But I'm still shocked. But yes, it's cool.
This is I mean, again, this is something like, wow, it's like, I can't believe this is happening. And when Straczynski, now this I don't have any inside, so don't take it. Take this was take this with a grain of salt. But people have been constantly begging J. Michael Straczynski to find some way to finish off the story of Crusade. And he keeps on saying, no, Crusade is not going to happen again. Which makes me wonder, well, when they're talking about these multiverses and such, could that be a path to that story? Go a different direction.
Absolutely.
Oh,
absolutely it could.
Is Stephanie Janziskowicz or whatever, I can't pronounce her name. She actually deleted her little thing where she is basically attacking everybody for being so negative. Well, here it's positive. We're not all negative. We're excited.
No.
Just like we're excited for Dune Part 2.
Yeah, I'm excited for that. Yeah. Napoleon looks really good too. There's some movies that are coming out that look really good.
Yeah, that's because you got a Napoleon complex. That's why you like that.
Well, somebody thinks he's the king of Pop Talk. He needs to understand that I, Doc Pop, am the king of Pop Talk and no one else.
Well, he can be the king, but you're the emperor.
Yes. Yes. I like that. And because I like it so much, I'm going to play a clip. That's right, Philly boy. You may declare yourself the king, but I'm the emperor, so.
Use your aggressive feelings, boy. Let the hate flow through you.
Yes.
But yeah, I can't say it enough. I'm looking forward to watching this.
I can't wait. Maybe we should do a watch party.
Yes, maybe we should do a post Pop Talk watch party.
Oh.
My.
Yes. And I do want to say hello to the old man who says Phil McCracken. I never had any Pop Talk kingship, but we know about the Coupon King being you. Yeah. He the only king you are of, Phil, is being the Coupon King. Where's my coupons?
Where's my
Grimlock best leader? Grimlock strong as Dinobot. Ooh, Grimlock sees girl.
Where's my Babylon 5? Where's my Babylon 5? Yeah,
Here is a coupon request from Cashmoney007
And Blazerhawk Darren, formerly known as Nova Vaughn, says, "Where's your crown, King Nothing Phil?"
Ooh, bird.
Oh, snaps.
Oh, wow. There's a war in the chat, folks. Word in
in
the
his
chat.
brain. That's where it is. Yeah.
And is there anything else you guys want to say about Babylon 5 before we move on to an article where we're all probably going to say a few words? Or do you think I should save this article for Rumble?
Which was the next one?
Rachel Zegler and her latest comments that have surfaced.
Oh boy,
that's
very
going to be
exciting.
hard because it's so easy to go off on this dumb bunny.
Yeah.
I mean that too. I mean,
Yes.
yeah, I'm going from praise to attack mode. I mean, boy. Do you think we can hold it together on this platform and not get banned?
Yes.
Talking about this?
I would think so.
Well, here's gonna be my response to that. We're all gonna do our best to keep it together, but all hands, this is the bridge.
Mm-hmm.
Red alert.
Okay, cover your children's ears, cover your own ears. I don't think we're gonna be nice.
No. We're not gonna be nice.
I'm never nice.
Oh, come on, you're nice.
Yeah, I saw this a few days ago. I was like, I don't know. It just
I saw some videos too of it. It's like, oh God, her talking.
Just shut up. Just this is considered a classic by many people, but sure, let's ruin it because this is the problem of people like a certain blonde lady who came out and started talking about how the prince didn't get the consent of the person. She's poisoned. Hello.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's the thing that was supposed to bring her to life.
Mm-hmm.
He was not molesting anybody.
Well, you tried telling Rachel Zegler that. She doesn't believe that.
Her
Of
If
course
you
not.
listen to her in interviews, she's really full of herself.
I know. And she said it says about how much she hates. She hates this part. I'm like, good.
And why did you audition for it?
Let me
Oh,
get
wait a minute. Because you want that Disney money.
Let me get my small violin out. Yeah. Smallest.
Sorry.
So this article is by John F. Trent. It was posted on Monday.
Hey, John,
And,
we love you. Sorry.
yeah, well, we do use a lot of articles from Mountain into Comics, but they do seem to make the most sense. And
Yeah.
you know, we're here to talk about pop culture, and they happen to
Yep.
be the ones that print stories about pop culture, regardless of what it is.
Yeah. And Trent seems to be one of the more level-headed ones out there. So I appreciate you if you're listening to us. If it gets back to you, we appreciate you.
Yeah, we do. And we're also critical of some of your articles too.
Yeah.
Here on Bound in the Comics. So
Yes, we are.
it's,
Right, I mean-
it's one of those things. We're not going to kiss anyone's butt.
Right.
We're going to be objective about it and say what we think.
Yeah. Occasionally, this will happen.
It stinks.
Right.
Yeah.
Not going to
So-
kiss your butt, but we're going to praise you. That's all.
Yeah. The article says Rachel Zegler says Prince stalked Snow White in original film. No, he did not.
No.
Reveals live action version is really not about the love story at all. Well, neither was the original fairy tale. If you actually look at it. Okay, it says upcoming Snow White actress Rachel Zegler had some pointed comments about the film when she discussed it back in September 2022 at the D23 Expo, describing that Disney depicted the prince in the original animated movie as a stalker. Well, you know what? If I had to choose between Snow White and the Evil Queen, I'm going to the dark side.
Well, yeah. Well, the evil queen was the one stalking.
Yeah.
Yes.
The evil queen is the one that poisoned her.
Yep.
Yes.
The evil queen was trying to kill her.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And I do want to say hello to your Muslim uncle who says,
Oh,
hell, and at this point, even with how crazy people can be on the internet, the death threats thing sounds like a deflection.
And usually it is. Sometimes
Yeah.
it's not. But even with the whole thing with Rose and all down the list, I remember I had a conversation about that. I was like, look, yes, people say stupid things on the internet.
Yeah.
But the way that the people want to censor it and stuff,
Mhm.
words for thee, not for me.
Right.
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Well, yeah, and it's good to see you. It's been a long time since I've seen you around there, Muslim uncle. So
Yeah, I agree with Blazer Hawk. If anyone was stalking Snow White, it was Dopey.
oh yeah.
Dopey was the one that was infatuated with her.
Look,
right.
Rachel Zegler, Peter Dinkleberry. Yeah, that's right. YouTube. I said Dinkleberry. We need to sit down with them and explain this story to them because they're half-wits for some reason. I know that brain's in there. I know it's in there, but lately, I don't know.
Well,
Cash, I have a response as far as their brain being in there.
uh-oh.
Because I'm sorry, but in my opinion,
How about no?
Even Dr. Evil's smarter than all of them, man. Come on.
No, Doc Evil is pretty smart, but
all he wanted was sharks with freaking laser beams attached to their heads.
Attached to their heads. Yes.
and $1 million.
$1 million.
All right.
Dude, yeah. That's great.
So this article goes on to say Zegler shared her comments with Extra TV when she was asked, I know you told me before that your version of Snow White is different and it's more of a 2022 version of Snow White. What did you mean by that? What do you think she meant by that? It's made for the modern audience.
Oh, really? I'm sorry. I forgot. You can demote me.
The hell you say?
There, that was a bit fast.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm not going to dock you.
Okay. I need that penny this month, okay?
Zegler responded, the original animated film. I don't care if it was a cartoon. You call it the original animated feature, animated film. That's what you call it, kid.
Yeah.
It was a little more than just a cartoon.
Mm-hmm.
What, did she also have a problem with Sleeping Beauty also? Oh, okay.
I'm sure.
Probably.
She does.
I mean, look at her here. Look how phony she is.
Mm-hmm.
And Gal Gadot seems more like the real person.
Right.
And she's just the one that's full of herself. And
Yeah,
Well,
I want to sit down with Gal Gadot and Patty Jenkins, and I says, listen, Wonder Woman 1984 has a lot of problems, and this is this. Like you guys did a very good job with the first movie, or good job.
I can see it now, Cash. You get into the interview room and you pull out your scroll. He just let it unfold and hit the ground.
Here's
Problem number one.
Yes, problem number one. Yes.
This is volume 1. Be prepared. Okay? Please take notes. Only repeat it once, and there will be a test at the end of this.
Yeah, test, right? No, their main thing should be like, did you guys read the comic that is based on this movie? Because obviously I don't think you did. Because if you did, you would have put Henry Cavill in that movie, and you would have also had Max Lord killed. But anyways, we can move on. Yeah.
But Cash, that would require them going to the source material.
Oh, I know it would.
No one goes there no more.
No, they don't care about it. So getting back to this article, it says Zegler responded, the original cartoon came out in 1937, and very evidently so. There is a big focus on her love story with a guy who literally stalks her. Weird. Okay. Did you even watch the film as a kid like you're saying you did, or are you just full of crap like most of Hollywood?
Full of crap.
It's a stupid take because well, you know who started this a few years ago? The certain person who was in Frozen. You know who I'm talking about. Starts with a K.
Yeah.
She started this about consent and all this crap, and it also started with the whole Me Too thing, and then they wanted to tie in this stuff, and it's just.
Well, it's even worse than that. They take something that's innocent and put their neuroses or fantasies
yes, they do.
into an area that is not. You start looking into it and start putting their crap and projecting their crap on it.
Yeah.
Snow White, Cinderella, all these are innocent stories, at least how Disney brought them out there.
Yes, they were innocent.
When you go
Does she also hate Beauty and the Beast too? I mean, give me a break.
Well, yeah, I mean, she stays with a guy who's basically an asshole, and it proves the fact because he got turned into a beast.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's one of those I can change him stories. But the thing is it's fantasy. It's a dare I say it?
It's a fairy tale. That's right. That's what this is. A fairy tale. My goodness.
Yeah.
And Zegler continued by saying, so we didn't do that this time, Zegler admitted. Of course not. You're a precious little flower child, and I don't mean a flower child from the 60s.
No, we could only wish.
When asked if the prince would even be in the film, Zegler answered, we have a different approach to what I'm sure a lot of people will assume is a love story, just because, like, we cast a guy in the movie, Andrew Byrne, great dude. Oh, really? And see, I saw the video interview where she actually says this, great dude. It's like, so that's how you're going to conduct your interview, huh?
Yo, dude, great dude. Yeah.
Yeah, great dude. I have
Woohoo.
dude. Duty. I made duty.
She continued, it's one of those things that I think everyone's going to have their assumptions about what it's actually going to be, but it's really not about the love story at all, which is really, really wonderful. And whether or not she finds love along the way is anybody's guess until 2024. Again, the original fairy tale wasn't centered around the true love portion. It was centered around the evil queen wanting to kill Snow White so she could be the fairest of them all.
That's right.
It was called
It was
survival.
called jealousy. Yes.
Mhm. Yeah, I'm trying to stay alive, and these 7 little guys are helping me.
Mm-hmm. All of Andrew's scenes could get, who knows? It's Hollywood, baby.
Mhm.
In the interview, she says all of his scenes could get cut. And when she gets to the part, who knows? It's Hollywood, baby. It's like, wow. Somebody needs to put you down in several pegs. Give you a reality check.
Well, yeah, I mean, Rachel Zegler is like one of those things. I'm Rachel Zegler, and you are Rachel Zegler, and you are. And it's like, I don't know who are you? I'm Rachel Zegler, and you are.
Zegler then revealed what the film is really about. It's an inner journey that she goes on to find her true self, and she meets a lot of people along the way that make the journey really incredible. That's not what the original story was about.
Yeah, she meets up with a bunch of Renaissance Festival rejects.
She meets up with a bunch of people from San Francisco.
She meets up with a bunch of people that went to the Spirit of Halloween to get their costumes.
This is
for the next Halloween party.
This is Stony. This is
know,
Snowflake. This is Pooper. And be careful, if he sees a street, he's gonna poop in it.
This is SJW.
Yeah. This is Triggly Puff.
You know, if they actually did these things properly,
Gorlock. No man can resist me.
All right, it goes along to say Zegler alongside Gal Gadot, who plays the evil queen. Yeah, baby, yeah. In the upcoming film, previously informed Variety that Zegler's Snow White would not be rescued by the prince. When asked what she meant by describing that the film has a modern edge, duh. I'm sorry. All of us who are here watching on Kick, Rumble, and YouTube now know this. We know it. They've been forcing it down our throats since 2016. A lot of us have been rejecting it and spitting it out, but they're still trying to shove it down our throats.
Right.
And it goes on to say, I just mean it's no longer 1937, and we absolutely wrote a Snow White. Then you're not sticking with the original source material, the fairy tale that it is based on, the fairy tale that Walt Disney himself was laughed at when he made it into the feature film that it became.
Right. Yeah, that movie changed cinema immensely.
Mm-hmm.
It did. I mean, because no one has done a feature-length animated film. It's like, oh, really? You're going to do that? And this thing is not aimed for kids. This was aimed at adults.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, it was also one that kids could sit back and enjoy. But obviously, need to say they could get scared. Of course, it's like kids like to be scared now and then. But the source material isn't the 37 film. Again, let's take a step back to the Brothers Grimm's and before that. Remember, Brothers Grimm's only collected these, so the stories even go older than that.
Exactly.
She's probably friends with Kristen Bell. That's who I'm thinking. Kristen Bell.
Yeah, I think that's the actress who provided the voice of one of the characters in Frozen.
Yeah.
Yep. It is.
Oh, I think she's friends with Brie Larson. They do a feet competition, see which one's bigger. And then they check each other's ass to see which one's smaller. You know, it's like, oh, I'm sorry. Did I
I
say
can't believe you said that.
I'm sorry. I'm so very, very sorry. I'm sorry.
Very sorry.
Well, look at that. We got Shadowban. Good night, everybody.
All right, so the article goes on to say Godot interjected. She's not going to be saved by the prince. Zegler then affirmed she's not going to be saved by the prince and she's not going to be dreaming about true love. Again, it wasn't the prince that saved her from the witch. It was the dwarves that saved her from the witch, not the prince. The prince only kissed her to bring her back.
Which, in a sense, is the form of saving her, but the ones that did most of the work were our 7 little friends.
Yep. The funny thing, of course, is
7 characters that are involved in this story.
Which somehow sorry, go on.
No, it's funny because this started, of course, a few years ago with this whole thing about consent, and now it's just gotten to this point, and some other pinhead. And I would say Rachel Zegler is acting like a pinhead lately. Some other pinhead is going to say something else, and they don't want to, like Mike said, they don't want to understand the story. So why would they? They can do it better.
And make it more offensive.
We can do it better, and we can throw our narcissism in there.
Yeah, and excuse me, how are the dwarves... How are they insulting to little people? Whether they're midgets or dwarfs or whatever. How are they? Because little Dinky went out there about how these guys are so, they're so insulting to people like us. They turns around and bitches about the fact they didn't have any hired.
Well, geez, Peter, I think that's a case of foot and mouth disease.
Right. I mean, honestly, what was insulting about the dwarves? Each one had a specific personality. And they were good. It'd be like if you did the same thing as you do with people who are tall. I mean, it's been done that way too. They're being treated as real people.
Yes, of course, but they don't want to see that. It's got.
Let me ask you guys this real quick. How many times have you gone up to a tall person, even a tall person that you're good friends with, and say, "How's the weather up there?"
I never did because he knew jujitsu or something like that, and he was 6'10", and I don't want to be shorter than my 5'10.5" because he would have shortened me. But I've been around him when people ask him, "How tall are you?" or things like that.
I don't know. I'm 6'4", so I don't usually go up to.
So what's the weather like that up there? What's the weather like up there?
Yeah, Cash.
Pretty good.
Tell us.
Pretty good. Pretty good.
But hey, this one thing is,
you know what a snowstorm's coming before the rest of us.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, he's the first one to get hit by bird poop, and even better, he's 6'4" with that chin. When it rains, I know where I'm going to be underneath. I'm going to be underneath that chin because he's got that height, and Cash, you're the perfect friend. Thank you.
So see, every time Cash goes to the grocery store, Whole Foods, he sees a little old lady there, and she says, "Sonny, can you reach that off the top shelf for me?" Because he's the perfect height. He doesn't need a ladder.
Can you get that tofu down for me, please? I need to have that.
Yeah, I mean, that's happened a few times. It's rare, but it does happen sometimes, yeah. You just have to be... The only thing about being tall, well, one of the main problems is that, it's great for grabbing stuff on higher shelves and so on, but you can also hit your head. You got to be careful.
Well,
it can be easier to hit your head on things.
That explains a lot right there.
You got to be careful. When you're tall, you can hit your, and when you're tall like Shaq, you can definitely got to be careful because bend down a bit more.
Yep. And I like what Padawannabe says here. As far as I'm concerned, I'm glad Zegler is conducting herself this way. It makes my decision for me and shows us all who she truly is. Yeah, she's hurting her own movie. People are seeing this attitude and they're going, I don't want to see this movie.
Well, not only that, all the pictures I've seen of her as Snow White, she's got the resting bitch face. She looks miserable. There's no, not all it is just like smarmy and about it. It's like that's not Snow White. Snow White always had a smile. She sang to the birdies. She was a very positive person. Even though she was being hunted down. And not only that, look how she was not rewarding, but helping out the dwarves at their place while they're working, and she's making sure everything's good, taken care of for them.
Yeah,
out of gratitude.
Out of gratitude for the fact that they took her in to protect her.
And when it was hitting the fan, those dwarves tried to help her.
Yeah. They didn't say, "Oh, well, this isn't our problem. You're going to have to leave." No. They wouldn't let her leave.
The dwarves are a very positive character. Anyone who's a little person should never be insulted by the dwarves from Snow White.
No
one.
That's not the point. Why, they insulted by the dwarf or the little person or whatever in Seinfeld? I mean, you just give me a break. It's so funny. I'm sure. I'm sure they can find some stupid reason. I mean, there was some. I don't.
I don't know. Your height.
My head spins. I know.
Your height is. You're 6'4". Your height is. So you look down upon a short. I'm not 6 foot, so you look down on me.
I'm not 6 foot either.
Yeah, that's why he treats us like he does.
No wonder Cashmoney.
Monet. Oh yeah.
Has a superiority complex.
No wonder why he's got to take naps so often, because the air, oxygen, there's less oxygen up there.
Naps are good for the soul, man.
So the article says Zegler elaborated. She's dreaming about becoming the leader she knows she can be. The leader that her late father told her that she could be if she was fearless, brave, and true. So stunning and brave.
Yeah.
The
thing is, the real Snow White was brave and stunning. For real.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. And her skin was white as snow. What? Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Which is why she was called that.
And so it's just really incredible, a really incredible story for, I think, young people everywhere to see themselves in. Well, okay, you want them to see themselves? Show them the original.
I mean,
problem solved.
When we get to the Rumble side, I'll just briefly go back to this one, because back in the day, Bloom County, this is in the 80s, and Berkeley Bresson had his finger on that pulse about this BS. And I'm not going to say what he called it, because back then it was absolutely hysterical. It still is, but the snowflakes on YouTube will hit us with this thing. So I'll wait until we get to Rumble, because it's not really offensive, but you know how YouTube is. Phil will send a complaint.
The Padawannabe says this release will also show many that the movie Enchanted is how you tell a story well. I've only seen bits and pieces, and that's because when I was working retail, that was one of the movies we were showing to show off one of the high definition TVs, and it's like, okay, can we stop showing this movie?
I know how you feel. When I was doing the shows down in it was Orlando, I believe it was. Across from our booth was a video thing, and they kept playing, because it just came out, The Lion King, over and over and over again.
Hakuna Matata, Hakuna. I'm gonna.
I was trying to find
the tape and.
By the time I was done being there, I was looking for the opposite of the Animal Wildlife Fund, the ones that would wipe out the animals and give my entire paycheck to them. Go, take care. I'm tired of it. I don't want to see another one. That's a joke, YouTube. I wouldn't do that.
It is a joke, YouTube. Learn to laugh a little.
I like to laugh. Ha.
Speaking
like
with entertainment, Speaking with Entertainment Weekly, Zegler also revealed that the film is also changing the definition of fair for the film. The original animated film made it clear the term referred to beauty and was providing a lesson vanity. Oh God, they're completely missing the point of the original fairy tale.
It was a
But
warning.
am I surprised? No.
No.
And I do want to say hello to Viewer Man,
Oh,
retcon Doomsday Clock, and restore the Snyderverse.
mm,
I mean, it
why,
would probably
not?
be
Why
a
not?
yeah.
probably a better direction though. Snyder did make some mistakes, especially
yeah.
that Batman vs Superman extended cut. I don't care
Well,
what anybody says. That first hour put me to sleep.
Well, he's not. Schneider's not perfect.
No,
Schneider has issues,
no.
even when it comes around to
Right.
the fans. But
Right.
and his vision and direction was far superior so far than what we've been hearing from James Gunn. And to be honest with you, I have no faith in James Gunn. I really don't.
I don't think he
I-
nor Peter Safran can steer the ship in the right direction.
I don't know. You need a better. There needs to be a direction. There was
Mhm.
somewhat of a direction with Snyderverse, and you could build on that. But I don't know. Well,
No, and no, I am not blaming Blue Beetle on him because that was
No.
before he came there. But
right.
And this article goes on to say this will no longer be the definition for Zegler's live action movie. It goes on to say later on in this article, she explained the reality is that the cartoon was made 85 years ago and therefore it's extremely dated. See, again, and to anyone who's, in the 20 age group, 30 age group, at least the early 30s, you need to understand just because it was made 85 years ago doesn't mean it's outdated. There are still themes in that movie, in any movie made 85 years ago, 50 years ago, 40 years ago, that still are relevant today.
well, yeah. I mean, if you actually study what you love, and that's storytelling, and the fact that we're dealing now, and others have said it too, this is our mythologies, our folklores, our fairy tales that we have today. The reason why they're sucking is this. Oh, we want to have it for modern audience. You can't change the core. The core of these stories have never changed. They are never outdated. Going back to 1,000, 2, 3, 4,000. The moment someone sat back and decided to tell a tall story around a fire while banging rocks, the core of these stories have always been. They're never outdated. The only thing that gets dated is technology.
Yep.
But when it comes around to the core of being a human being, what we like in the story, how we want to see things happen, are never, ever outdated. That's why the original Trick is classic. That's why the original trilogy of Star Wars is classic. That's why things like The Forbidden Planet, which is based off of what? The Tempest from William Shakespeare. The story is the same. The technology and how they approach it is different. But the story is still there. It's not outdated. The moment you start changing these stories for a modern, you have just destroyed it, and these stories don't hold anymore. They don't.
Yeah.
No.
And these morons don't understand that. They need to sit down. They need to read the classic mythologies, whether they be Greek, Norwegian, or Scandinavians, I should sit back and say, even the folklore. That's why the Lord of the Rings is so precious, because he drew so much, Tolkien did, to build up an English folklore, because he thought things like King Arthur were too Francofied, or French, which he's right. They were.
Yeah.
But the thing is, it still goes down to that core story.
Yeah.
This will be forgotten. The animated film will not be.
No, and it continues here too. When it comes to the ideas of women being in roles of power and what a woman is fit for in the world, and so when we came to reimagining, there you go, reimagining the actual role of Snow White, it became about the fairest of them all, meaning who is the most just and who can become a fantastic leader.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the
That
only real imagining that needs to be done is, hey, let's put this into a science fiction element instead of a fantasy, but keep the story core.
So it goes on to say Zegler continued, and the reality is, Snow White has to learn a lot of lessons about coming into her own power before she can come into power over her kingdom. The lesson is that the evil queen wanted Snow White gone so she and she alone can have the power.
Mm-hmm. The thing is, when they start talking about the first of them all, it's not just looks, it's heart. The evil queen was a despot.
Mm-hmm.
The Snow White was benevolent. That's what it's about. It's about the good heart against the evil, against the egotism, about the despot ruler who wants to twist everything their way.
Mm-hmm.
And think about it. You had a woman, and Snow White was a powerful woman. She was able to survive to that one point, but the villain was woman. You want to sit back and tell me this is a 1937 film, and what's the film centering around? 2 women.
Yeah. Yeah, the prince plays a very small part in the story.
Right.
And the Padawannabe says, why would there have been and still is a huge want for vintage and retro themes, media included? The public's view is definitely not what this particular actress is looking through. Unfortunately, Padawannabe, people like Rachel Zegler and other people in Hollywood don't care about our point of view. They only care about their point of view.
Right. That's why I'm rooting for this break to go on 20 years.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't give a frig about anybody. No. Studio, writers, or actors. F you.
And Padawannabe does add, oh, she's Teela. Pretty much. She's Teela from Kevin Smith's Masters of the Universe.
Yeah.
My sentiments exactly, Cash.
I mean, I'm sure they're out there, but they don't get the voice. But how many women are insulted by all this?
Well, how many women who have seen Barbie were insulted by the message of Barbie? Mm-hmm. We know a few.
Yeah, don't trust cash money. That's the message.
I didn't see Barbie.
No, but that's why, because they're dumping on you. They throw the whole film and say, that cash.
Yeah, sure.
So cash money didn't go. He said, that's it. I'm not going to watch it.
It goes on.
What also, since you brought that up, what also they said is that Greta Gerwig, she worked very hard to make the Kens bad people, but she failed too. So I've heard that from other people. I found that interesting.
Well,
but there is still a message. I saw the clip of hating men, so something to be proud of, I guess, or trying to, basically saying that men have always kept women down. Sure. Okay.
Well, the thing is when they try so hard to do that, the one that they're trying to demonize becomes sympathetic and people identify with. I mean, look at Archie Bunker.
Right.
The part of the Archie Bunker was 100% to be making fun and insulting those that were on a conservative level, and basically saying, well, we're going to get the bigot out of Arkansas, put him in the Bronx or wherever it was he lived in New York, and play off of that and make him this horrible person. What happens? The character becomes so popular, he did not go the way that Norman Lear and I got a mail block on who played Archie again. I should know what the name is, but
Carol O'Connor.
Thank you so much. Yeah. It went the way that they didn't like, because as Rob Reiner sat back and said, Carol O'Connor was even a bigger leftist than him. So they weren't happy. Whenever they try to do this with characters where they try to tear it down and be insulting like that, they end up getting a fan service. People love them.
Yeah, well, without that show, there's no Jeffersons, but people wanted to take a chance. It's the same with stuff. There's no Family Matters without Perfect Strangers. Certain characters come in there, and then they go, "Oh, maybe we can make a show around this. Let's take a chance."
Also, let me ask you guys this: if, say, All in the Family wasn't successful, do you think Harold O'Connor would have still been part of In the Heat of the Night?
Probably not.
The TV show.
Probably not. No.
No, but you might have had something else that came along. You never know.
Yeah.
I mean, when you take a look at Ed Asner, I mean, he's the guy who took a character from a comedy show and took that character to a serious show, and I think he's the only one currently holding this title in Hollywood of having an Emmy for both for the same character and a comedy and a drama. But where would he be? Where would he be though? Where would he be without Lou Grant?
Exactly.
I mean, yeah, maybe something else would have come around. Who knows?
Right.
That's where the crystal star. But the thing is these are the lightnings that strike these characters. At least Ed Asner was smart enough to know that this character was worth keeping. Carol O'Connor knew that this character was worth keeping. Taking it to Archie Bunker Place after All in the Family. It just, it'd be interesting to see how things would have been different if things, if somebody else was cast or they canceled something or it didn't go well. Where would some of these actors be? Would they have, or would there be somebody that would pop in and fill that void? It's always interesting.
Yeah, it is. It said the old man says protest them taking Psycho Dad off the air. Well, Al Bundy did against Marcy.
Psycho Dad, Psycho Dad, Psycho Dad. And then and I love it that his letters to the star of Psycho Dad caused the main actor to say, "I'm not doing this part no more," because of all those letters he got from Al. I love that show.
I love Married with Children.
I'm the one that's got some of the more rights on my side.
So the article goes on to say Godot, who plays the evil queen, added also the fact that she's not going to be saved by the prince and she's the proactive one and she's the one who set the terms is what makes it so relevant to where we are today. Snow White was still setting the terms in the original fairy tale.
Yeah.
She didn't want to be killed. You know what she did? She ran to the woods.
Yeah.
The huntsman actually pretended that he killed her.
Right.
Because he couldn't bring himself to kill her.
No. Exactly.
Well, Zegler, go ahead, Baron.
I mean, yeah, look at that part. Actually, the woodsman had a bigger role to play than the prince.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I was going to say.
All right. While Zegler reportedly claimed...
I'm kidding. Go on.
All right. Repeatedly claimed that the original 1937 animated film was dated. She revealed to Entertainment Weekly she hadn't seen it since she was a child before being cast for the movie. I was scared of the original cartoon. Well, like you said, Baron, it was intended for adults, and kids were supposed to get scared if they saw it.
Even the adults were supposed to. They were supposed to take the gasps and such like that,
It says, I think I watched it once, and I never picked it up again. Are we surprised? You kidding? I would watch the Friday the 13th movies and Nightmare on Elm Street. Yeah, the first time I watched it, I was scared, but the more I watched it, I knew it was fake.
Mm-hmm.
And didn't bother me.
Right.
And she says, I'm being so serious. Anytime someone phrases their sentence like that, I don't believe them.
I'm super serial, man bear pig.
I watched it once, and then I went on the ride in Disney World, which was called Snow White's Scary Adventures. Doesn't sound like something a little kid would like. Was terrified of it. Never revisited Snow White again. Oh gosh, fragile.
Why do you think that?
Fragile. She then said, so I watched it for the first time in probably 16, 17 years when I was doing this film. And yeah, that's pretty much it.
Mhm.
So, you know what? She's a twat waffle. No, she's the literal
I know.
definition and description of a twat waffle.
YouTube, he said it, not me. I'd say probably something worse. That's why I'm keeping my mouth shut. Or wait until we go to Rumble.
Well, wait until the Rumble portion of the show.
Mhm.
The Rumble portion.
That's why I'm saying twat waffle. That's what I'm
Mhm.
saying, twat waffle.
Oh,
She's a pinhead. It's fine.
I told you we could get through it. I told you we could.
It's all right, man. Another pinhead, just like
Yeah,
Zachary
yeah.
Levi with the whole Shazam 2. Oh, why did people go see it? Why did
Because
that
it
movie
wasn't
make
very
money?
good.
Because a lot of people didn't find it very interesting, like the first film. I know it's hard to, but well, like I said, they just give YouTubers and other people an opportunity to just mock them because why shouldn't they be mocked? I mean, all they do is attack the fans and attack. It's all the troll people, and if you don't like this new Snow White film, you're a bad person.
Okay, I'll be a bad person.
How can you not like He-Man? How can you not like Cowboy Bebop? How can you not like this? Oh, it's the hardcore anime fans. No, the studios need to take responsibility for their own actions. They made mistakes. Do better. That's it. And actually do better. And don't just say you're going to do better, but actually do it. But they don't care. So that's why I'm with Baron. This strike can go on 20,000 years. We can have Mom Meets Aliens meet this new reality show, whatever. I don't care at this point. It's retarded. Right. Yes, I said that. Retarded, YouTube. This is stupid stuff, man. Right. Yes.
And it's an appropriate word because it's regressing.
Yes, it's regressing.
Big time.
Gosh, dude.
We as a society are regressing.
Yes,
big
we
time.
are. Yes, we are. It's ridiculous.
And I do want to say hello to Wolverine Snicket, who says she has a waffle face.
Ah, yes. She has a waffle face. That's what she has.
Yeah, I had the waffles this morning. How appropriate. But
and Baron, you have a clip that we could use whenever Joseph Dredd comes by.
Oh,
I am the law.
I don't have it on me. I promise I'll bring it over to you.
All right.
Hey, Paulie, how you doing with this stuff? Hey, Rock. I'm having sex with the.
Hey, Rocco.
Did you guys ever see that Family Guy clip?
No, I did not. I did not.
He says, "Hey, Rocco, I'm having sex with the meat." I couldn't stop laughing. Hey, Paulie, how you doing, Paulie? Oh my God.
I am the law.
I am the law.
How
you doing, Joseph?
I'll say this: the Stallone film, up to the point he takes the helmet off, was pure 2000 AD. The moment he took the helmet off, that was it. It's like, no, you keep the freaking helmet on.
And I'm right there with you, Joseph Dredd. The strike can go on for 1 billion years for all I care. Exactly. Because, as I've said it before, we, content creators, on whatever platform you're creating content on, we are the future of entertainment. We are the new Hollywood, if you want to put it that way, because there are content creators who do work better off of a script. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, not at all. I mean, it takes all kinds. Everyone's got their forte. I can't work off of a script. I can't work
off a script.
No, when I started this thing, I tried to do it in about, I can't remember how many takes of what I was reading. It's like, screw this. I'm going, I'm going.
We're doing it live.
Bite the pill. I'm going and try. That's what I said. Yeah.
We're doing it live.
Well, I mean, let's bring it back here, because we have Judge Dredd with us here. Hi, Joe. Sorry about your brother Rico. And the thing is, if anyone asks me what I think is the best Judge Dredd movie, well, I think it's Judge Minty that was done by the fans.
Oh, yeah. Though I will say Dredd was good. When I finally saw that a few years ago, I was like, this is enjoyable film. And I'm like, I want to see that. That was a quality film.
I need to get a copy of that one. But the thing is, the one that really encapsulated
I need to watch that fan one.
Yeah, Judge Minty was that, and I'll continue to praise that creation.
Well,
and it was done fans on YouTube. Boom. I mean, that's where it is.
That's why when you have a passion for a lot of these different shows and so on, and you're starting to write a script, you start thinking, okay, what was the foundation of this? And what it also comes down to is if you're like, oh, I don't care about the source material, then make something entertaining and actually mean it. At least follow certain basics, like why do we care about these characters? What is good and evil? If this character is considered misunderstood, why is this character misunderstood? What is the background for this character? Things like that. Things that always make sense. Even when you go back to old cartoons like Freakazoid, there was background in there. Even during the song, there's background how he became Freakazoid. I mean, these things were always important. There was background.
One shall stand, one shall fall. Why throw away your life so recklessly?
That's right. There was always background. There was background with Transformers. Why do the humans and the Autobots get along? There was always some kind of connection. And now all that stuff pretty much goes out the window with a lot of these writers, and they're more worried about their agenda. They're more worried about what representation is. They're more to it's like they don't understand that we've had representation for years in movies and other TV shows and so on, that characters that matter. You can even go with Miami Vice. It's like, oh, wow, this guy's Hispanic. Who cares? He's an interesting character. That's what matters. It's just
right.
Yeah,
I mean, the character being from a certain background makes it even more interesting, especially with one that you're not fully familiar with. But the thing is there's more to the character than just that.
Yep.
I mean,
and
it's flavor. It's building up who this person is.
Yep.
It's not strong and brave. And forgive me, Mike. I did put a link in there to judgment. You forgive me.
No, that's fine. I looked to see what it was. That's fine. You're
go ahead.
You're also a mod, so you're able to put the links in there.
Yep. I'm also a co-host.
Looking for that extra praise.
Yeah, I need that praise, man. I need that praise.
I know.
When you're the only one on this panel that's married, you need the extra praise because getting henpecked all the time.
We
love you, honey.
But it's just like what they did. They took like what they did with He-Man, just like what they did with Thundercats. They took it in another direction. You're like, oh wow, they're making this more serious now. That's crazy. This is a fun show in the 80s, and it works. And it's like, well, this is the direction they should keep going. It's the same thing with why can't we get more Brave and the Bold? There's all this stuff that DC can do. It's like, hire these people, hire these fans. These are the people. You guys want to make money? These are the people right now who are going to make you money. Why are these things so popular on YouTube? Why do they have thousands and thousands of comments? Why do they have thousands and thousands of views and all these likes? These are the kind of people that you guys should hire.
Well, you're with me, Kat, when we talked to Chuck Dixon. And I brought up the fan film of Batman and the Punisher. And he seemed to approve it. Yeah. He thought that really had that flavor and the characters. Yeah. And I think that's one of the best DC Marvel crossovers that's done. And guess what? It's done by the fans.
Yep. They can do this stuff. I've seen live action My Hero. I've seen and so what is Disney's excuse? Okay, you want to keep going. I think it's lazy and ridiculous with a lot of this live action stuff of animated classics. But sure, but if you did a lot of things right, I think that many of the fans would respond to, okay, I want to go see this.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Give people
Right.
something
Give
they
it
actually
time.
want to see.
That's right.
Mm-hmm. You know, for a man who complains about Cash never talking,
He talks all the time. Remember, he's the king of Pop Talk.
no,
Time for
he's
sleep.
He's the king of robot trolls. That's what he's.
That's right. He is the king of robot trolls.
And as we move on here to this article from Variety, Sound of Freedom director calls QAnon labels. I probably mispronounced it. I do apologize.
Yeah,
QAnon.
Thank you, QAnon.
Because Cash isn't with those guys.
No.
Yeah. He spends a lot of time at the parties.
Well, what happened? What he is? He's an undercover agent for Gavin Mussolini. So he was sent in. So
no, I mean, even those episodes of South Park, they'll say it. So if you guys need to know how to pronounce it,
self-professed legend, Phil. You believe in your own hype.
Bullshit, Phil. It's okay, man. You are the bullshit. Yeah.
Okay. Thank
You're the king of robots.
Just a moment. I do got something. But keep on talking. I'll just get it ready here. Just keep on talking.
And Joseph Dredd does point out a good fact here that QAnon didn't exist in 2015.
Mm-mm.
It's true.
But the director labels saying that the QAnon labels are heartbreaking, not true, debunks with details of the film's origin.
Okay. Oh, this is for Phil, by the way.
I call bullshit.
Despite its status as the highest grossing indie film since 2019's Parasite, Sound of Freedom has been dismissed as a QAnon fever dream by large swaths of the mainstream media because they don't want to acknowledge it. They don't want to, even admit that what the film depicts is actually going on.
Mm-hmm.
That's true.
Well, yeah. I mean, especially when the same media was praising, I believe it was a book that they were talking about this whole situation that they based this movie off of. They were praising about how it was exposing this horrible thing. And now we have a film about it. And now it's like, this is the most horrible thing in the world. Excuse me. Who is it the most horrible for? Are you guys outing yourself? I won't say anything more because we are on YouTube. If we're on Rumble, I would have gone further.
And it says, but that derisive label is so ridiculous to the film's writer-director Alejandro Monteverde, which began working on the project in 2015, 2 years before QAnon emerged.
Mm-hmm.
The origin of the film has been avoided purposely and accidentally in the media. Monteverde said the origin will answer a lot of these misconceptions on the film. Listen, as someone who saw Sound of Freedom, it's a good movie because it does shed light on human trafficking, child trafficking, and it does happen. I don't care what someone says. They can say it doesn't happen. Guess what? It does happen.
Yeah, 10 years ago, all you media types were going out there saying about how it's happening, and think of the children, and we have to do something about it. Blah blah blah, yada yada. Well, they have a film about it. Oh, this is horrible.
Mm-hmm. Back in 2015, the Mexico-born LA-based Monteverde says he was unaware of the scourge of child sex trafficking until he watched a network news segment on the subject. What he learned shook my soul because I didn't really believe it existed, he says. I just, in my head, could not put those two pieces together, an adult and a child. Yeah, for people out there, they can't put it together. It's hard for them to fathom that adults would do what they do to kids.
Right. Destroy them, literally. Literally. physically and spiritually.
Goes on to say that night he couldn't sleep. So the next morning he discussed the impact of the news segment with his wife and mother of 3 children, actress Allie Landry. She urged him to begin researching and writing a screenplay. At that time, the movie was called The Mogul, and it was purely fictionalized, he adds.
Mhm.
And then it goes on to say, not long after the film's producer, Eduardo Vera Stugo, I can't really pronounce it, so I do apologize,
Mhm.
met Tim Ballard, a former special agent for the Department of Homeland Security, and the project morphed into a story based on Ballard's time when he was assigned to the Internet Crimes Against Children Task Force and deployed as an undercover operative for the U.S. Child Sex Tourism Jump Team. Jim Caviezel signed on to star as Ballard, with Mira Sorvino, Bill Camp, and Jose Zagunia, and Verstorger. I can't really pronounce it, so again, I apologize. I'm not even going to attempt it. I'll just keep butchering it.
Mhm.
Since its July 4th release, Sound of Freedom has earned 173 million. Actually, I can bring up the current totals right now to
Mhm.
show you all what it has actually made as
And yeah,
today.
and this is all just United States. This is not
Yeah.
worldwide.
Yeah. So let me get to it. And let me switch screens here.
He's switching the screens, folks.
It's interesting though that Variety is talking about this.
One hundred
considering how,
seventy-four million 173 72 sorry $1,706 domestically.
Right.
it won't be released internationally. It just hasn't yet.
It hasn't been yet
Right.
released.
Of
I
course,
think-
this is a smaller studio, I guess,
Right.
because they're.
Mhm.
they're
I
independent.
think it is on its
Truly
way to do that, but
Okay.
but it hasn't happened yet. It's going to go international, but I don't know when or how or by who.
Well, I find it interesting that Variety, how leftist they are, and they're just like a lot of the media out there, mainstream media, they that they are actually covering this. They can't ignore it. I do find that funny.
Mhm.
Yep. And it goes on to say a staggering figure that has already eclipsed the domestic haul of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning. Sound of Freedom's 14.5 million budget is roughly 1/20th of Mission Impossible's 291 million. That's far too much for a movie. I don't care if it does star
Yeah.
Tom Cruise. That's too much.
Mhm.
And it goes on to say that 173 million tally will only grow as robust international release kicks off in the coming days. Still, Sound of Freedom has spawned negative headlines thanks in part to some of the Caviezel and Ballard comments that reference QAnon tropes, particularly that child trafficking is tied to the adrenochrome harvesting. And it goes on to say there's people that are too close to the film that are in politics, he says of Caviezel and Ballard, who attended a Donald Trump hosted screening of the film in July. Monteverde did not attend, so it's like, I love you, but I have to keep my distance. Lost in the Sound of Freedom discussion is any acknowledgement of Monteverde's accomplishments as a filmmaker. His 2006 immigrant drama, Bella, landed the top prize at the Toronto Film Festival. The same honor won by Oscar Best Picture winners Slumdog Millionaire, 12 Years a Slave, and Nomadland.
Interesting films, yeah.
Yep. And those
Slumdog
Sound of Freedom.
Millionaire. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Slumdog Millionaire is very good. When that actually won Best Picture, I was like, yeah, it's legitimately a true underdog story, and it's very good.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, I love how they shit over themselves,
Yeah.
Hollywood, about this and all these
Mhm.
others.
Yep.
They don't like
Yep.
Jim Caviezel because Jim Caviezel is good friends with Mel Gibson, and of course he was
Mhm.
in of course the Passion of the Christ. That he
Mhm.
refuses to do sex scenes in such. I mean, he and what's her name, Ashley Judd. They were supposed to have some big, hot steamy scene. He refused to do it in the movie because, well, he's a devout Catholic.
Well,
Oh my
then
God! How can
I
that
know how
be?
terrible. That's his. It's
Horrible.
just like
Mhm.
these women. They don't want to wear these outfits and stuff. But once again, it's like try to get as close as you can to the original source material. That would be nice. But
Well, the thing is
yeah.
their attack is not necessarily about the movie. They know that this movie is
Mhm.
based on fact. They know that the
Mhm.
reality behind it. They just hate that the light is being shined on these little fucking cockroaches out there, and that is people like Jim Caviezel and such that were behind it. They have to come out with bullshit stories about
Mhm.
how about the guy who got arrested for child trafficking that was a big donator sponsor of this movie, which is bullshit. This was done. What it was it like GoFundMe or whatever? And he only supplied like $500. And the man was involved with the situation because he basically rent out a room or apartment for a lady who took her son from the father and was hiding.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden now they're sitting back saying, see, child traffickers are involved with this movie too. Ha ha ha. Well, quit the bullshit.
Yeah.
Get to the real story. This is why we hate you, MSN, the mainstream media, because all you are is a fucking lying piece of shit.
Yeah.
And the reason why you don't like
Mhm.
this movie is because you're the cockroaches that they're showing it, that they're exposing
Mhm.
out there. Yes, I will say it.
Mhm.
Harvey Weinstein was not the only one. He was the biggest cockroach.
Yep. No,
Mhm.
he's not the only one. No, not even close.
And the article goes on to say, and though Sound of Freedom doesn't overtly take a political stance or reference QAnon, because at the time the movie was made, it didn't exist.
Well, see,
A-
Variety
and
has
it-
to throw that in there. They just have to. They
Yeah.
can't help themselves.
yeah.
No, they can't. And the thing is, it's not political. This is not a political issue. How
It's a
dare you-
humanity issue, is what it is.
How dare
Yes.
you turn it into a political issue?
Yep.
How dare you? This is humanity. This is not Democrat, Republican, liberal, conservative. This is base core humanity. This is basically natural law. This is something that you should be fighting for, you fucking cockroaches. And yes, if you're not with us, you are fucking against us. And you're
Damn
sly.
right.
I'm sorry I'm mad. I'm sorry I'm getting worked up.
No, Baron,
Go
you don't
ahead.
have to apologize.
Unleash the fury, man. Come on.
Yeah.
Go for it.
I mean, what the hell is this fucking name that got off of his little escapades with children because all the witnesses mysteriously died? No, this is not Joe Rogan, Alex Jones bullshit that we're going here. This is absolute fucking fact. And the mainstream media refuses. Why? Because, again, I will say it. You are the fucking cockroaches that the light's being shined on.
Yep. Always. It's ridiculous.
I don't care if this was screened for Biden, Trump, Clinton. I don't care.
Right.
This is beyond. This is beyond religion. This is beyond being Muslim, Christian, atheist, Hindu. It is beyond all that. This goes down to the core being a fucking human being.
Yes. Well, there's a number of people that don't refuse to live in reality, Baron. So, I guess it shouldn't be surprised that people want to make sure that this doesn't get much attention. This movie should be up for Best Picture. I'm sorry to say, but it should be. Not sorry.
Well, guess what? This movie is getting attention because myself and many others have gotten to see it, and we all come out of it with the same impression that this is a movie that is a must-see movie if you give a shit about humanity.
Yep. Did they see that movie also, like Man on Fire? I mean, you just those are kind of things that still are happening. Excuse me, in Mexico.
Yeah.
I mean, my gosh, are you kidding me? This is ridiculous. Just ridiculous.
The world is not America.
No, it
shitheads.
isn't.
Once you
No,
step
and even America isn't America anymore. You can turn on the news any day of the week and you can see things falling apart. We're supposed to be better
Yes.
we are
Yes, we
supposed to
are.
be the
than
shining
this.
beacon. We're to be the shining beacon, and that's not to be arrogant. That's not arrogance. That's giving an important weight on our shoulders, because
We're
have
supposed to
out
take pride in ourselves and our country.
there. Right.
And right now, we're
Yes.
shitting the bed.
That's right. Absolutely.
And all you little wieners out there that sit back and say, oh my, I'm so worldly. I mean, ask any Canadian how Americans are once they go over the border. They think Canada's America Junior. Look at how the Japanese can't stand when they see us Anglos walking around, because, well, we're going around with our arrogance in their country and putting our viewpoints.
Look at what happened during the Olympics. I feel so bad for people in Tokyo that they had to deal with a number of these spoiled brats,
Right.
especially on the women's U.S. team. Yeah, you heard me, YouTube. The
Yeah.
women's team.
And let's not forget Logan Paul and his bullshit.
Yes,
Mhm.
absolutely.
I mean, we're different than Singapore. All these people think they can go over to Singapore and diddle around with underage people over there. Guess what? It's a death sentence.
Yep.
But yet they have in their mind they can go over there and diddle. They can be the P. I'm not going to say it here. If we were just on Rumble, I would. They think they go to Australia, they can bring their American bullshit.
Right.
No, when in Rome, you are in Rome.
Right.
If I go to a foreign country, I'm going to abide by the rules of the land of that country, the law of the land of that country.
That's right. Yeah.
And not only that, I'm going to brush myself up a bit to understand where I'm going.
Yeah, and also as a basketball
the do's
player,
and don'ts of that country.
also as a basketball player, I don't care what it is. Don't go to a foreign country like China, freaking foreign country like China, and steal sunglasses. That happened a few years ago with a UCLA basketball player.
Right.
And if it wasn't for the Orange Man, he probably would be in jail.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, try doing drugs in Turkey. See where that gets you.
Seriously.
Was it Midnight Run? Is that the name of the movie? Midnight Run or something like that? Yeah. I mean, enjoy your stay in Turkey if you're going to do a little, just even weed. Have a little hash. It's like me, oh yeah, let's walk around Holland just toking away. Excuse me, no, you left the area that you're supposed to do it, the red light district. Once you get out of the red light district, you act differently. No, they think the whole fucking country's that way.
Yep. Stupid.
Twat waffles. There. I like
Yes, they are.
Yes, twat waffles.
That's right.
And the article, I'm just going to pick up on one of the paragraphs I already read, but just to give myself a reference point, it says, though Sound of Freedom doesn't overtly take a political stance or reference QAnon and is closer in tone to an action film like Sicario, it was quickly dubbed MAGA-friendly. Distributor Angel Studios, which saw success with biblical drama His Only Son earlier this year, even screened the film for members of Congress representing both Democratic and Republican parties. NPR called it a Christian thriller without explanation. Monteverde bristles at the faith-based label, noting that there are only a couple of brief references to religion in the film. That is correct.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and Midnight Express. Thank you, Joe.
I believe labels such as faith-based exclude people, and my intention as a filmmaker is never to exclude, but to include everyone, all audiences. We made Sound of Freedom for people of faith, people without faith, and everyone in between, he adds.
I mean, I didn't read it. I didn't read this article, but exactly what I said too. Yeah. I mean,
Mhm.
I get it.
Yep. Monteverde sat down with Variety via Zoom hours before catching a flight to Colombia for the start of the film's international rollout. The 45-year-old Helmer talked about the challenges of his film getting caught in the culture war crosshairs and whether a sequel is in the cards. Now, here's my thought on a sequel. There doesn't need to be one.
No. No. What else can you do?
You can't do any more. Leave the film as it is.
Right.
And goes on to say, how did you get involved with Tim Ballard? Eduardo calls me and says, have you heard about Ballard? Google him and call me back. At that time, there were like 3 or 4 things online about him. He was not the controversy that he is today, not as popular with the selfies, all of that. It was more contained. I said, well, I would love to meet him just to get informed, pure research material. I need him. And then Tim and I were talking, and goes on to say, I'm asking all these questions, finding more and more about his story. And I realized that his story was surpassing my little fiction film that I was writing. I say, are your life rights available? He says, funny you ask. He was in LA doing the rounds with the studios. He was more interested in doing like a series. I say, no, let's make a movie. Long story short, boom. I get his life rights for this film, and the real writing begins. Then Rod Barr and I wrote the screenplay, but it took 2 years because Ballard was not approving. Finally, we met in the middle. All I wanted was to present a question about the problem human trafficking, child sexual exploitation had bad. The problem is, and it goes on to say, we shot in 2018. In 2019, it was completely finished film before QAnon became a phenomenon. I think they messed up on the years because this film, I believe, sat on the shelf for 5 years.
Mm.
And part of the reason why is because it was originally supposed to be distributed by 20th Century Fox, who was then bought out by Disney. And of course, we all know what it became, and Disney wanted nothing to do with it.
Why? Because they're run by a bunch of cockroaches.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I said it, YouTube.
Some of them have even been busted. A few executives were busted.
Yep.
A year
Executive,
ago, 2 years ago, something like
park
that.
workers, and let's not forget
Uh-huh.
Epstein's girlfriend. She was in charge of getting youth talent for Disney.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. No, isn't that sweet, boys and girls?
So it goes on to say, why did it take so long to release it? And then this is where what I already said comes into play. It was with Fox International. So the movie did get lost in limbo after Disney acquired Fox in 2019. And then, the producer raised a little bit of money and bought the film back. Then we were thinking, okay, let's go out and shop it. Then COVID, boom, people were always telling you, even before they saw the film. Right now, people want to see uplifting films.
Right.
Then the Harmon brothers, who founded Angel Studios, came in and they had a completely different way of marketing a film that I've never seen. They told me, we're going to put a video at the end of where Jim will talk and urge audiences to pay it forward by buying a ticket for a future patron. I was like, arg. I became a pain, and they told me, Alejandro, let us do our work. You have to trust us. We made a deal. And it asked, how much has the Pay It Forward program contributed to the overall box office? Like 4% to 7%. I don't know the number, but I know it's under 10%. And it asked, what do you make of all the negative press? I was like really sick. I was like, this is all wrong. That's not true. It was heartbreaking when I saw all this polemic and all this controversy going on. My instinct was to run. I want to hide. I don't want to give any more interviews before the movie came out. I did a couple of interviews. Look, when you hire people, what they do on the free time, I can't control. I was a director. I wrote the screenplay. I hired the actor I thought was best for this film. The subject matter was very personal to him. Caviezel adopted 3 children from China. When we met and discussed the project, he broke down in tears. And I was like, wow, this guy's going to be willing to die on the set. And that's what you want to know. You want somebody who works for you, and he dove in. Given that the film caught given that the film got caught in the culture war crosshairs, any regrets about casting Jim? I try to never look back into any regrets because there's nothing I can do about it now. Jim came to the set. I've never seen somebody so committed and so professional on set. He came in and really bled for the film to the point.
Mhm.
What was he like on set? Jim was at the level of going to a hospital one day, like he was really sick, but I didn't have a contingency. If I didn't shoot that day, we will lose the location. So I went to Jim and I'm like, Jim, we need to shoot this. He comes out with a bucket. The bucket was not in the scene. He was throwing up for real. He could barely walk. So I say, I want to rewrite it. Like you're hungover, and he could only give me 1, max 2 takes. I respect that as a director to have an actor that is just gonna die for the part. What they do after, everybody's entitled to speak their mind. Now, in this particular film, yes, it did hurt my work, and that's why I'm here talking now instead of secluding myself. It's time for me, the author, the writer, the director, to say what was the motive for the film. So now I know, and anyone else who saw the film knows why Ballard was puking into the bucket in the film. Going into opening weekend, what was your high end expectation for the box office? I was thinking like 5 million. I will be happy with 14 million. I thought for the whole run. And it asks, are there any plans for a sequel? There is definitely a lot of interest to exploring the subject a little deeper because this is just the tip of the iceberg. There's a lot of interest to kind of explore Haiti, what's happening in Haiti. There's sequel talks focusing on Haiti, and it goes on to ask, did Tim work in Haiti, or would it be a spinoff with a different character? Haiti was a big part of Tim's work. I was very tempted to do Haiti on this film, but I wanted to do an origin story and it was too much material. I needed to end where I ended. It goes on to ask one last question. Is Angel Studio going to run an award season campaign for the film? I would love that. We haven't talked about anything. For me, it would be incredible, even just to go and sit down in one of those Dolby theater chairs.
Oh, no, I remember Kevin Spacey.
Yeah.
Kevin Spacey, that little slime bucket.
He's a piece of shit.
He's a cockroach. He's one of the cockroaches.
But of course,
that's right, YouTube. I said it.
Of course, that guy dropped that young man or whatever dropped the charges against him. So,
well, all the other witnesses
now yeah.
Why? That's how convenient.
There's always a convenience with these slime balls.
Yeah.
You drop the charges, then it's like, oh, I can get on scot free. But people like Dustin Hoffman know he had to have his career ruined. Yeah.
Well, again,
supposedly something that happened 30 years ago on the set of Tootsie, but sure, whatever.
Right, which is bullshit. But look how they praise Roman Polanski, who was
They still
convicted.
praise him.
They still praise that.
He is
man.
convicted.
Yes.
He is a convicted criminal. He cannot come back. It's not that he was accused. No, they came with the verdict. He is guilty of sodomy on a 14-year-old that he drugged.
Mm-hmm.
And yet he's still the greatest thing on earth.
Huh.
Cockroach.
Piece of shit. I said it, and I'm
You
standing
heard
by
it. You heard it. YouTube. That's right.
Right.
Go play in traffic.
The thing is,
YouTube.
Jim Caviezel is a very passionate actor. I don't think anybody can deny that. The roles he put in. For crying out, he was struck by lightning twice on the set of The Passion of the Christ. And one of the
Really?
scenes where,
I didn't know that.
he was when he
Wow.
was on the cross. When he was on the cross, he was also when they were doing the whipping scene. Right, one of the whips actually got by where the protection was on the back and took out a piece of him.
Oh,
Yeah,
I did not
while
know
they're
that.
doing that.
Wow.
No, of course they don't want to put that stuff out there. But the thing is
All
the
right.
man was, the man is being smeared for being a true Roman Catholic,
Of course.
voted Roman Catholic, going out there and doing the same, doing these films they have
Yes.
passion about, and TV shows. He was on that one TV show.
Yeah, a person of interest. That was
Person
a
of
great
Interest.
show, man.
Right.
That was a great show.
He's a great actor.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
And he's very passionate. When he
But
gets
they had
to-
a strong cast as well.
Oh yeah, I mean,
yeah.
I mean, he was part of that incredible cast. But
Mhm.
the thing is if he was a weak actor, of course, he's the
Well-
star. So if he was weak, no matter how good the rest of the cast is,
Well,
it
it also helps that Jonathan Nolan wrote. And once again,
Yeah.
it's funny that JJ was a producer on that show.
Yeah. But the thing is, I think he was more of a hands-off producer.
Yeah, he probably was.
I think so.
Once again, whatever you take on, if JJ or some of these other people, you have to understand Star Wars and it's just an incredible beast, and you need to treat it with respect. Now, maybe after all this nonsense with the strikes and all the gobbledygook garbage, maybe people will start, you know what? Maybe we're screwing up, but I doubt it. I feel things are going to get even worse after the strike is over. But
we never know. I mean, it depends.
But maybe it'll get better. Maybe it'll get better. Maybe this AI thing will finally scare enough of these actors and writers and stuff to say, "Oh shit!"
It should.
It should.
It should,
I agree.
frankly.
It really should. I agree.
I mean, honestly, all across the board. I mean, J.J. Abrams, and I think a lot of people will say this, he's a great opener, but he can't close. Just like in baseball. You got a great opening pitcher, but when it comes around the closing, he can't do it. He can't perform it. He has got to leave it to other people to do it.
Well,
a great idea and let other people run.
It's just things change. Like, of course, he wasn't always involved in Lost, especially after a few seasons. So, it was Lindelof was involved. So, you can hate the ending or not hate the ending. It's just, but there's movies that he's done that he's been involved in that he's even directed that turned out well.
Yeah.
Super 8, I still say turned out well. Yes, people can say it's to an extent a rip-off of E.T., but you can say that about a lot of different films, that it's a rip-off of something else.
Yeah, like Mac and Me.
Mac and Me. Okay.
But honestly, J.J. Abrams is talented, but I think to this point is resting on laurels. And again, he's not a closer. He can come up with great ideas. He can start something, but when it comes around to bringing an ending to something,
well, Alias turned out well, I would say, but it was also the cast that turned out well.
And other people under him, other writers and stuff.
Oh yeah, of course, of course. I mean, it's not just him, yeah.
Right.
But once again, when you come out and you say you're a male feminist, I just feel it all falls into the same category. It's all falling apart.
Fine, cut your balls off then, JJ.
I know, right?
Who's cutting their balls?
Oh man.
They can put that rubber band around it like they do with the
Seriously.
balls to get them castrated.
Well, it's the same with
while,
Josh Whedon, man. Like that man, it's this is why the thing is we cannot cancel these artists, directors. I don't care if it's Spacey, I don't care if it's Cosby, I don't care who it is. And then we find out lies about what people are telling other people and so on and so forth. But you can't cancel this. I want to remember this stuff, even stuff that Alec Baldwin has done. So people should not forget. That man should be in jail, by the way. You hear me,
Yeah.
YouTube? Alec Baldwin should be in jail for manslaughter. Yes,
Yep.
I said it.
Mhm.
Well,
At least a few years, maybe 2 years or something. I don't know, but at least a few
Yeah,
years.
he could be somebody's girlfriend for a while.
No, I think that even the men would turn against him and say, "This guy's too annoying."
Yeah.
And moving on to our final story,
All right.
at least for the YouTube side and Kick side, because we are going to be continuing on Rumble.
Oh,
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, Zoic Scoob.
Come on,
All right.
Scoob. Yeah.
So we have this article from Superhero Hype. It was posted on August 11th, and it's by Noah Dominguez. It says Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin video game announced. No, I'm not going to show the trailer because really it's more of an announcement trailer. There wasn't much to it.
There wasn't much to it at all.
Yeah, I saw it in the Kings, and that's all it was just it's a nice teaser trailer, but it doesn't do anything. Really, it doesn't.
Well, even though it's easy to bash IGN, they still do some good work, so I'll give them that. Yeah.
And you have a good night as well, Joseph Dredd. Thank you for stopping by, brother.
Yes, keep our streets safe there, okay? And
please, Dredd, please, please, yeah.
Because you are the law. No, I got to finish reading my one omnibus of Judge Dredd. No, I'm halfway through it. I got to finish it up now.
So the article says Nickelodeon, THQ Nordic, and Black Forest Games have announced a video game adaptation of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: Last Ronin. I have not read that comic yet. I probably should before I play the game.
I haven't either.
And there's a
Maybe
sequel.
I should as well.
Yep. THQ Nordic revealed a teaser trailer for TMNT: The Last Ronin during its 2023 digital showcase event. The ominous cinematic trailer announces the game as being in development. It shows all but one of the 4 turtles candles symbolically burning out, followed by concept art of Michelangelo battling a group of synthetic Foot Clan ninjas. The Last Ronin will be available on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Though currently lacks a release date, news of the project's existence first surfaced back in March, which we actually did talk about it then too.
Yeah.
And it goes on to say TMNT: The Last Ronin is a dystopian Ninja Turtle story. TMNT: The Last Ronin began life as a 5-issue comic book limited series by Kevin Eastman, Tom Watts, Ben Bishop, Isu Escorza, and Isaac Escorza. IDW Publishing published the series from October 2020 to April 2022. It is based on an unused story idea conceived by Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles creators Eastman and Peter Laird during the original Mirage comic days. The Last Ronin takes place in a dystopian future where the Foot Clan have conquered New York City and Michelangelo is the last surviving Ninja Turtle. Well, there's a spoiler for you, so too late for that spoiler warning, but
sorry.
Dun,
They kept the
dun,
secret
dun.
until so much in there because it's the mystery. Which one was the one survivor? No, we don't.
The Dark Knight Returns-esque series follows Mikey on his quest to avenge his fallen family and friends. Following the conclusion of the main series, IDW put out a 5-issue prequel series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin, The Lost Years. The Lost Years debuted this past January and wrapped up earlier this month. A sequel series, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin 2 Re-Evolution, is scheduled to launch this December. As a prelude to the new series, IDW put out a one-shot titled Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles: The Last Ronin Lost Day special this past July. So it's definitely something I am interested in because I have heard how well the Last Ronin storyline is.
Mm-hmm.
But again, I want to be able to actually pick it up, and I probably should pick it up soon and start reading the story. So by the time the game comes out, I'll know what I'm getting myself into.
Well, more importantly, what's the gameplay going to be like? How they how that's going to come down.
Is it going to be like Ghost of Tsushima? Is it going to be like Sekiro?
If you guys want to look up the fan project that somebody did, a 20-minute thing of which is based on this, you'll find out. I mean, you're thinking, oh, Turtles. Yeah, this is not definitely a happy story. I mean, the 20 minutes thing shows actually somebody dressed as a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. You guys can look it up. You can look it up right now, actually, Mike, if you want to on YouTube. And he's sitting there and he's thinking about the fact that his turtle friends are dead. That I can't remember if Splinter. Yep. And he's just sad. And the way they do this scene is just so emotional. You can look it up right now if you want to. I don't know if YouTube would. Thing, but if you want to, it's
with the way some content creators are with their fan projects, I don't want it.
Okay, but yeah, you can. It's about a 20-minute thing or something, and he's just sitting there. I think Jay showed it to me, and I was like, "Wow, yeah, it's very emotional." You're like, "Dude, that is effed up." That's fucked up. Really is.
When your heart is in these stories.
Yep.
You can let that passion out and make a good story. Not a fanboy, bullshit, but actually a good story that centers around that universe, those characters, because you're pouring your heart in. If it makes you cry writing something like this, you've done a right thing. If you're patting yourself on the back saying, "Hey, I managed to put myself in there," you failed.
Yep. Yeah. And if you're going to put yourself in there or you want to self-insert, you've got to make yourself more interesting. What's the background? What's this? What's that? You can base the character, on you to an extent if you want to, but it's all about making it more rounded, more interesting. And this is one thing that I hope after whenever this stupid strike's over, all this nonsense.
I hope it never ends.
No, I don't want it to end.
Yeah, I know. Oh, yeah, no, I get that. But it's still a stupid strike because it's just more stupidity of Hollywood and more greed, in my opinion. So, yeah, I mean, but when this strike finally does end, because I think it will end at some point, maybe they'll finally find more of a brain and say, you know what, we could do better stuff. So, we'll see.
Yeah, but how long will it take them? It is Hollywood after all.
Oh, right. I know.
Well, what's his name's got to sell his house, Billy Porter or whatever the hell his name is.
that jackass. You heard me, YouTube. That jackass.
Yes. And bitch that, what's his name, Simpsons, was on the cover of the one magazine instead of him. Harry Shearer. Yeah, Harry Shearer was, I don't know what magazine, but I saw him where he was bitching about that.
What?
They have him on there instead of me. It's like, well, yeah.
I met him, man. Really? He was bitching about something? Oh,
Billy Porter. Yeah, that Billy Porter.
Oh, Billy Porter was, not Harry. Not Harry Shearer. Okay.
No, he was bitching that it was Harry Shearer that was on the cover instead of him.
Oh, man,
and I think he was trying to. I think he was trying to push the race and homosexuality card.
That's all that guy does, dude.
I hope he's living in a van down by the river.
That's right.
Excuse me. And real quick, guys, we are getting close to the time. We're going to wrap it up here on YouTube. So, is there anything you guys would like to promote, starting with Baron?
Oh, I was going to go to Cashville, but I'll go. First of all, I'm just watching some scenes because as we're going through here, I'm just trying to look and see if there might be some story stuff on there. But I saw scenes of the Babylon 5 animated movie. Holy frill. That's going to be freaking good. But that's going to tie into what I got to say here. Please join me on my channel, Fandom Legacy, this Saturday, 7 o'clock Central Standard Time, 8 Eastern, and whatever the hell it is in California, Stan, with Cash. It's going to be, of course, Mike Cash. Yeah. Make Cash. It's also going to be Lord Crit. And how can we not forget the king of the bot trolls himself, Phil McCracken? We're going to be discussing, it's going to be a part 2 of season 1, Babylon 5 discussion, because we already did that on Lord Chris' channel. I suppose we could find a way to put a link in there so people can see that one. But we're going to continue on, and if things go right, the next week we'll go into the second season. But we're going to have a discussion on Babylon 5. So I hope people will join. People who love Babylon 5. It seems to be getting a new breath of life with the Blu-rays coming out, with this movie coming out. Of course, you'll be, catching me here with Pop Talk Wednesdays and Sundays. And of course, the Primetime Kings, a live stream Sundays at 5 o'clock Central Standard Time with the Tower of Power himself, 24/7 Fusion Media, the ever mysterious Vigilante Williamson, cruising in from the Hollywood Nights in his hot rod, his new bomb Turk, and myself. So I hope people join us there. What a great day. On Sunday, you can have Pop Talk early, and then later on, have the Primetime Kings. You cannot go wrong with that formula, folks. You can't.
No, you can't. And now, Cash, we turn it over to you.
All right. So the Phantom Hooligans, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time Friday. I had to make sure I wanted to beat this game because, yes, hooligans. I wanted to make sure to beat this game on hard difficulty, and I finally did because just like here on Pacific's channel, just like the Phantom Hooligans, we don't believe in this easy mode like a certain Padawan Paul does. Yes, Paul, you've been calling me out on your stream recently, so yes. Anyways, but we're gonna have that, and then Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. That's right. You just don't let your friends play on easy mode.
Well, I got something for you, Cash. I got something for you, Cash.
Easy mode, I cannot let you play. On easy mode, I cannot let you play.
I love it.
There you go.
But yeah, so and if you guys, the thing is, we're already having a stream on Saturday, but if for some reason we wanted to play Broforce Forever on Saturday as well, we could, or Sunday. You know what? Screw it. Why not Sunday? Well, maybe we should do it on Sunday. You guys up for 2 streams? I don't know.
Well,
No, that's right. Baron has the. That's right. I remember.
Do you listen to the show?
I remember.
Cash, do you listen to the show?
Yeah, I do.
Do you listen to the show?
I know, Baron. I'm not. No, I'm not going to put extra pressure on you. I know. I just, no.
I mean, I'd probably be up for it, but that's beside the point.
I'm
more excited about Vermintide too. It's like, I want to smash stuff with my Warhammer.
Yeah, Vermintide 2, Vermintide. We need to hide from the vermin. That is true, but so that'll be 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and I'll have the thumbnail up. It'll probably be the same thumbnail. The description will be a little bit different, but that'll be up. That'll be 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on Friday, and then either Saturday or Sunday, I will be playing Rift Apart because. I mean, we could play Broforce tomorrow, but I have some things going on. So,
oh God,
I know.
Well, I'm going to kick you in the kneecaps because I'm short. With how tall you are, that's the only thing you can do is go after your kneecaps.
But no, we only have what? There's like one stream. The Babylon stream will be like 8 your time or something, Baron. So 7
Baron's time, 7 Central.
So, yeah, that'll be 3 hours.
5 Pacific.
Yeah, I do.
Dude.
But seriously,
clean out your ears. Put your listening ears on.
I'm good.
Because of the lack of oxygen up there.
I'm just trying to figure that all out. I mean, if we wanted to play on Saturday Broforce Forever, we could if you guys are up for it, but. I'm seeing the time and like when Mike goes to sleep or when you go to sleep, Baron, that it may not work. Unless you guys really want to stay up and play some Broforce Forever, we get through that level.
We can see what's going on. I still want to get the Vermintide too.
Yeah, that'll be Friday.
Yeah.
At 6 p.m.
I want to smash some rats.
I agree. I want us to get farther in the difficulty mode for sure.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll go on, and if that Broforce doesn't happen, then Rift Apart will happen Sunday. So.
And as far as PACIFIC414 is concerned, well, tomorrow, as long as it cooperates, because last Thursday it didn't cooperate too well, there will be more Ace Combat 3. Now, I do have a contingency plan. If, for any reason, at any point during the stream, Ace Combat decides, I don't want to work, then we're going to resume River City Girls. So it'll be either Ace Combat 7 or River City Girls. There won't be anything Friday or Saturday publicly, because on Saturday at 2 p.m. Eastern will be the first member stream on the YouTube side for Pacific 414. So members, 2 p.m. Eastern, that would be 1 p.m. Central Time, and 11 a.m. Pacific Time will be the first member stream on Pacific 414 on YouTube.
Too early for cash.
Yes.
No, I'm not. I thought this was members only. So
members only. Members only.
Yeah.
And then Sunday, we're starting at a special time on Sunday. We're not starting at the normal 1 p.m. Eastern on Sunday, but we are going to be on the air on Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, and our guest will be the princess of YouTube herself, the lovely Leia Rose.
She is also the president and sole member of the Phil McCracken fan club.
Yes.
Supposedly.
So that's what's going to be coming up for this coming week. Now, I'm going to go ahead and let you all know now that next Wednesday, Pop Talk will not be on YouTube or Kick at 6 p.m. Eastern. However, it will be on Rumble from start to finish, and Rumble only. Yes, it's going to be a Rumble only edition of Pacific 414 Pop Talk.
And you can all blame Phil McCracken for this. He's the one that caused this.
No, the truth of the matter is I told Cash and Baron that at some point when I, was eligible to stream over on Rumble, that at some point we would, excuse me, do a Rumble only edition of Pop Talk. So that is what's coming up. For those of you who are watching on YouTube and Kick, thank you very much. I do want to thank everybody over on YouTube.
Yep.
And of course, Baron was the first one. So Baron, thank you for being here as a co-host, but also being the first one in the chat.
Hey, I'm working for my cent this month. Okay. That's what it is.
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get back to you on that. I also want to thank Brandon Looney Tunes Fan 2000, Phil McCracken, who thinks he's the king, but really he's just the Duke. Not even the Duke, he's the court jester. There.
Yes.
From McCracken, worst troll ever.
I want to thank Blazerhawk Darren, formerly known as Nova Vaughn.
Oh, okay.
Padawannabe. Jace from 540 Studio. Low Spec Linux Laptop. Old Man. It was nice to see your Muslim uncle. Good to see you.
Yeah, great to see you, man.
Viewer Man. That was a new person. Welcome. Thanks for stopping by and listening to us. Mm-hmm. And Wolverine Snicket. Thank you, Wolverine. And of course, Joseph Dredd. So thank you to all of you on Kick and YouTube for watching this evening's edition of Pacific 414 Pop Talk. Rumble, stand by as we close out on those two platforms because we are going to continue.
Now I gotta move to the other studio. Thank you, everybody. We really enjoyed the fact that you liked it.
I appreciate each and every one of you. Thank you very much and have a good night.